Hello and welcome to the O'Rourke Report. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you all had a great holiday. And we're back into the business of Bravo because boy, oh boy, this is a really busy week and I'm behind in a couple of things. So today I'm going to concentrate on Married to Medicine and their first two episodes. I've often said it's one of my favorite shows. I think the cast is more intellectually mature than some of the other casts that may be out there. When there is conflict, and there is conflict, I mean, it wouldn't be a Bravo show if there wasn't conflict. They do try to resolve in a very real way. And unfortunately, I hate to think that there's something that's cropping up this year that may not be as solvable as things have been in the past. But let me jump right into it. Before I do, if you like what you're seeing and you want to be notified every time we put out new content, if you would, please hit the subscribe button, hit the notification button. Subscribe button is the most important one, though, I think. Hit the subscribe button, and then this way you'll be guaranteed that every time new content is put out, it'll show up on your feed, your youtube.com feed, and you'll be able to watch. You can watch it anywhere, really. I post it also on my Facebook page and my Twitter, now X page. So hit the subscribe buttons, the simplest way to make sure that you will see all the content, and I appreciate it. Thank you very much. Okay, so we're going to go into, last week was the first episode, and it kind of concentrated on one, really the reintroduction of Quad is what it did. As you remember, Quad is the original member. She was married to Dr. Greg, who was a psychiatrist. Once they divorced, she kind of left the show, but she was always coming in and out. She'd have conflict with people back and forth. Well, anyway, last year, they had a group trip out to the wine country, Sonoma, someplace in California. It was a lovely trip. I think it was Toya who was the hostess of the trip. But anyway, Quad was causing a lot of trouble, and the women banded together, led by, the really mature heads, the two obstetricians, Dr. Simone and Dr. Jackie. And they decided to ask Quad to leave, and they did it in a very mature, upright manner. And Quad, knew not to cause any more fuss. She left, and then when we looked at the reunion as well, there were attempts for reconciliation, but the other women were asking Quad to be more forthcoming with her life and don't appear to just be using them whenever she wants camera time. So anyway, attempts were made, and it looks like they're going to do it again this year. Quad is going to once again try to insert herself into the group with her usual bombast and over the topness. I've always enjoyed Quad. She's a lot of fun. But so anyway, Quad threw herself a 43rd birthday party, sent out invitations to the women with her ensconced in a Rolls Royce, not leaving the Rolls Royce, just driving up to her fellow castmates' house in the Rolls Royce, sending two people out to dressed as airline hostesses to deliver invitations to her 43rd birthday party, which she was naming an evening in Paris. And Quad, being Quad, every little soundbite we get from her during this whole process is just over the top how important and wonderful she is. At one point she says, "Oh, I've been to Paris 3 times this year and it's only the first quarter." Oh, well, God love you, Quad. So anyways, she sends invitations out to all the women, excluding the newest cast member from last year, her ex-husband's, this is Dr. Greg, the psychiatrist, her ex-husband's new wife, Sweet Tea, who is, I don't want to take anything, and I don't want to say anything derogatory about Sweet Tea. She's a lovely, sincere girl, but these other women are, God, I just don't want to say the word smarter because I don't want it to sound like I'm saying Sweet Tea is dumb. But she's up against some very educated, intellectually mature, I've said this several times, women, and a couple of them who, when they get angry, are meaner than junkyard dogs. That being, in particular, Heavenly Kinds, who I will, I'm going to go into in a minute. But anyway, Quad invites everybody except Sweet Tea, who is the little nickname for Dr. Greg's new wife. And in fact, she finds this out. She's over at Dr. Contessa's house when Contessa's invitation is delivered. And at one point, you hear Contessa out in the driveway talking to Quad, who is sitting in the, or I think she dines to get out of the limo to give a hug to Dr. Contessa. But you hear her say to Dr. Contessa that no, she doesn't want to see Sweet Tea right now. And you get every indication Sweet Tea is not going to get an invitation. And indeed, she didn't get an invitation. But then again, she's the new wife of her ex-husband. I kind of see that, but this is a different circumstance, isn't it? You're all on a television show together. You're all on a television show about a bunch of men and women married to medicine. We've got female doctor. A lot of the females are doctors, but some of them are just wives. Some of the men are doctors, but some of them are just husbands. It's a mishmash of a bunch of doctors and their husbands and wives who, in many cases, went to an HBC, historically black college or university, and so Sweet Tea's going to have to up her game a little bit. Got to understand that this is not going to be hip hop Atlanta street fighting. Not that this is what she would do. I don't want to talk pejoratively about Sweet Tea, but these are different level of people. And so, anywho, there was something I was going to say. Now I'm drawing a blank on it. The one thing we do notice is that Contessa and Sweet Tea are united against Heavenly, who I've mentioned a short time ago. She is a dentist. Her husband is a doctor who runs pain management clinic, and they have banded against Heavenly because Heavenly has gone after both women. And Heavenly, yeah, boy, she's got an angel on one shoulder, she's got a devil on the other shoulder, and the devil on the other shoulder is mean as a junkyard dog. And she's got a tongue and a mouth on her. That's just incredible when she decides to go after somebody. She goes after somebody and she plays dirty. She goes to the internet. She has podcasts. There's several different ways she maligns her enemies. And so we'll see if Contessa and Sweet Tea can combat her, because Heavenly's off to her usual start, which we see in the very first episode, we see it in the very second episode. It is very much Heavenly against Dr. Greg, the psychiatrist, with his new wife. There's some kind of battling that's going on there. Chloe, look at Chloe. She's trying to get in on everything. Oh, you're being so bad. Oops, come on. Oh, very good. So anyway, I can't wait to see what rolls out. And I wish Contessa and Sweet Tea a lot of luck, and I wish Heavenly a lot of luck. Because, like I say, Heavenly's little angel she's a wonderful, wonderful, fabulous person. Heavenly's little devil is wow. It's a lot, and this year, and I think I've mentioned this before that. I just want to say one more thing, and this is my praise of Dr. Simone. Now, Dr. Simone is the one who last year told Quad when they were out in Sonoma that they are going to ask her to leave because for the various reasons that she names in the episode. She's very clear-headed. She and Dr. Jackie, who I have always said is one of the very, very, very few Bravo celebrities you can admire. You can admire. I do the same with Dr. Simone as well. Dr. Simone and Dr. Jackie, both obstetricians, well respected, just have a level of maturity and conflict resolution that the other ones just don't possess on any show at any time. These women are superior. But there's a special place in my heart for Dr. Simone. I just love her. Now, she's the one who has laid it on the line that Quad is going to have to do a lot of changes in order for Dr. Simone to let Quad back into, her life, her affection. So Quad rolls up to her house in the Rolls Royce with the stewardesses to deliver the invitation. Dr. Simone seems to be very surprised. You can kind of tell by her reaction on the camera that she wasn't quite expecting this. However, and this is why I love her. This is why I love her. She's so gracious. She acknowledges the invitation. She laughs with Quad. They have a huge hug. There's nothing phony about it. It's just kind of resolution. What it is, Dr. Simone says to Quad, I receive what you're giving me. I receive it, and I appreciate it. This is why I love Dr. Simone. She's just a cut above. So anyway, Paris, I talked about that. Heavenly's Mouth, I talked about that. This is the other reason I love Married to Medicine, and this is why I'm a little concerned this year. I'm a little concerned. One of the hallmarks of Married to Medicine is all the men get along in a very sincere way. And so they all meet. They all meet because they want to discuss as the husbands what's going on with Heavenly and what she has been saying about Dr. G, the psychiatrist, Quad's first husband. And Heavenly's husband is this who everybody calls Dr. Daddy because that's what Heavenly calls her husband. She calls him Daddy. Is one of the most even-tempered, mild-mannered, reasonable people. I can't go on and on. I can't go on more and more about these people. I just love them. And they're concerned. So they're talking to Dr. Damon, Daddy. They're talking to Dr. Damon about, they're not saying you need to rein Heavenly in, although Dr. G is saying that. But they're saying, okay, let's talk about this, guys. How can we get this to a resolution? How can we get the women back together on this? How can we get Heavenly to stop the junkyard dog attacks that she do? Because she was attacking Dr. G's practice as well online. And these women have hundreds of thousands, in some cases millions of followers. So when they say something derogatory about somebody's practice, it's a big deal. So the men get together to see if they can't come to some sort of, come to Jesus moment or whatever. Dr. Damon wasn't having it, which is super, super unusual. Dr. G was out now asking Dr. Damon to reign his wife in, which is crazy because who's going to reign heavenly in? Nobody's going to reign. Wives are not going to reign husbands in, and husbands are not going to reign wives in. That's kind of this group. So it was a it was an ask by Dr. G that could have been done more diplomatically, but Damon wasn't even going to give him a minute. He wasn't even going to give him an inch because of that. And so Eugene, who's also a doctor, he's married to Toya. Toya is a wife. Uh, Dr. Eugene is the physician. I believe he's an emergency room physician, but he used to be. I don't know if he still is. I know he's still a doctor. I don't know if he's still in the ED department, but Eugene steps in the middle, who, spoiler alert, of all the Bravo husbands that there are out there, and there are legion. There are legion, from LVP's Todd to it just goes on and on and on. Eugene is my favorite Bravo husband. He's exceptional. So anyway, Eugene tries to bring the two warring factions together, and usually that works, but it's not working this time, which tells me there might be something more behind the scenes for Dr. Damien to be digging in his heels so much. I don't know, but it really made me fear for this group, which I always tout as being able to resolve their problems. So 2 episodes in this season, fully invested. I can't recommend this show enough if you're not one of the people who've been watching it since, season 1, episode 1. But I love it. So anyway, I'm gonna wrap this up with some little odds and ends that I came across here. Supposedly, we hear there's going to be a Shaw's reboot. Can there be a Shaw's reboot without Reza? I don't know. Although Reza, once he shaved his mustache and lost the weight, he kind of changed a little bit. I don't know. But Shaw's reboot would be interesting if you have the right mix of the cast. Evidently, Andy Cohen and Carol Radziwill have buried the hatchet. Glad to see it. Thought it was an unfortunate breakup of friends when it happened. In no way was I on Bethany's side when she was attacking Carol at that reunion, however long ago that reunion was. Andy kind of should have stood. Andy had the opportunity to do the right thing there, but he didn't because, let's face it, Bethany Frankel was a big crowd draw. Andy wasn't going to come down on her, and as a result, he damaged his friendship with Carol. Glad to see the friendship is back on track, because once again, Bethany Frankel was the aggressor in the argument, and Andy should have stuck up for Carol more. Apparently, they buried that hatchet, thank God. And I have one more very strange little thing. Do you guys follow Britney Spears on Instagram? Do you know how she does those, like, her little dancing videos and all that stuff? Well, I don't know if you've noticed, but her teeth seem to be traveling a little bit. They're going all the different directions up on top. And I don't know, did she used to wear a mouth guard and she doesn't wear a mouth guard anymore? Is that what we're keeping the teeth on track? But it seems to me, and I'm going to say it, the madder she gets, the crazier her teeth get. So I don't know if there was a relation, but I just noticed that this morning she was blabbering about that she was really 5 years old. And it's sad. Everybody knows she's got whatever. I don't know what the diagnosis is. I'm sure you ask 3 different psychiatrists, or therapists or doctors, you'll get 3 different opinions. Maybe we better put Dr. G on the case. But I just think and she won't listen to anybody, which is why her teeth are going crazy. There's somebody who was probably there every night saying, put your mouth guard in. It's not happening anymore. So anyway, that's all I have for today, and I'll mention it once again. If you like what you see and you want to know more, hit the subscribe button. Thank you so much, and I will here. Let me find this button. I look forward to seeing you again.